Hey everybody, it's Ron with Radiant Technology Solutions, and we're doing an SMB Connect video today. And we have Angel with Leaders Insurance. How are you today, Angel?
I'm great, Ron. Thank you.
Glad you're here. So tell us a little bit about what you do and about Leaders Insurance.
Well, I've been a insurance agent for about 19 years now. Love what I do. Started as a captive agent with Nationwide, and very quickly learned that being a captive agent, you don't have a lot that you can offer your clients. So I switched over to be an independent agent. So I can represent many different companies. It allows me to not go solely on just the company name. I get to shop coverages, premium, and really shop around what the client's looking for, not having to go based on, oh, I have to sell this company. So I love what I do.
Awesome. Yeah, there's a lot more options with a captive agent than, versus going with Nationwide directly. And I found that when you do, there's always that product of the month that they're trying to get you to sign up for.
Yes, and I don't have to worry about that whole cross sell with a captive agent. You always have to worry about being able to get another product or another line before they'll offer the line that you really want versus, somebody who just wants their homeowner shopped. Some captive agents, you have to, well, we can't shop their homeowners unless they have their auto or unless they have a life insurance. I'm not up against that. I'm not up against any quotas. Here at Leaders Insurance, we don't pay commission to agents. And so it doesn't matter to me. My salary is based on my work ethic, not based on how high a premiums that I write, which I love. I've always been very fortunate to work off of a salary and not work off of how many policies I wrote or how much premium I brought in.
Awesome. I bet you're selling or quoting a lot of homeowners insurance right now in the area. People seem to be flocking to Tampa Bay like crazy.
Yes, they are. The new purchases are insane. They're insane, which is great for me. But with the prices also of homeowners insurance, it's kept me very, very busy because shopping around is very important. And another reason why I absolutely love being an independent agent, I can absolutely give the full picture for clients, and they know that I'm not shopping one company, I'm shopping 10 companies. So the quote that I come up with, I've done my research on their home.
It's been a while, but I remember back when I was buying my house, I got like different quotes from different agencies, and they were like all over the place. Is there something that causes that difference?
There is. So, what a lot of people don't know is most of the time, a homeowner's policy is very, very specific. So, what changes the price? So, I can give you a quote through one company, another agent can give you a quote through that exact same company, and the prices be way off. The dwelling value will be different. That all has to do with your replacement cost estimator. Let's face it, insurance is a very competitive industry, so that most agents, because they work off of commissions, they're trying to get you to come to them. So how are they going to do that? Number one, get the price lower than anybody else. But to be able to do that, most of the time it's dropping coverages and getting that dwelling value low, because that's going to drive the price. So if I do your replacement cost and it comes in at 200,000, but another agent does your replacement cost and it comes in at 180, of course their price is going to be lower than mine. We are bound to have to do insurance based on replacement costs. You pull the property appraisers, we put in the living square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, the type of flooring, but most importantly, the building grade. And so we have options of picking economy, standard, above average, or custom. And so if you have granite countertops and your insurance agent quoted you and you have solid wood cabinets and you have crown molding and all those finishes, right? And your agent quotes you standard, but I quote you above average, which is what I should, because that's going to get your granite countertops and your crown molding back. My dwelling value is going to be more
Yeah.
than what the other agent that did standard. Therefore, their price is going to be lower. My
Well,
dwelling value is going to be high. Everything gets driven off of that, your replacement cost on your contents, things like that. So that makes a difference. I always tell my clients, I am not trying to come in cheaper. I'm trying to come in the most competitive for what you need. And then we always go over it. So they can say, some clients say, no, I only have laminate countertops, or I only have tile and carpet on the floors, those things. So it's very important that an agent is asking those things so that they know what to replace. So that makes up the biggest difference in why my quote will be different than another agent's quote, or vice versa.
Now, if that dwelling value was too low and a hurricane came through, would that mean you'd be out money at that point? Would you only get that 180 for your house instead of the 200?
Absolutely. So people mistake replacement cost for what your policy is bound for. And so an insurance policy will not pay over and above the amount that your policy is written at. So if your policy is written at 180, and this just happened to a client of mine, well, they're now a client of mine. They were not a client at the time of the loss, but they had a fire. They were not insured enough.
Wow.
And the policy does not pay. The insurance company says, yeah, to rebuild it, it's going to cost XYZ, but you are only insured at this amount. And that's what they got the check for. They could not afford to rebuild.
Wow.
It's absolutely terrible what happened to them. But they had to leave the home, they had to level the home and sold the lot and couldn't rebuild their house because they were not insured high enough. Insurance company will not pay more than what you're insured for.
That's terrible.
And you don't picture losing everything. And unfortunately, that's our job. Our job is to say, and I say this to clients all the time, think about this. You go home and your house is destroyed. How happy are you going to be with me when I cut that check?
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line.
No, that makes
That's why
sense.
shopping around is so important, though, too. You've got to get coverage is coverage for the most part. And so if your dwelling's at 200,000 and that's where it should be at, you need to insure it at that. Look at some other things that maybe you could do without coverage, or things that we could tweak.
Now, with all these people moving to the area, is it affecting the rates at all? Have you seen like rate spikes because of it?
So quantity has not made a difference. However, what has made a difference is obviously the more people the insurance company takes on, the larger the risk, the more probability they have to pay out something, right?
Yeah.
Right now, we are going through one of the worst rate increases that Florida has seen. I would say since Hurricane Andrew, which just devastated the insurance industry
Yeah.
then. This is absolutely the worst. And that is because claims. We have door knockers going around to subdivisions saying, you have hail damage, I can get your roof replaced. But they're saying the hail damage happened in 2018. And that's legitimately what is happening right now. And we can get your roof replaced going through your insurance company. Well, it's now 2021, and you're trying to place a claim for something that happened in 2018, except that you have no damage, you have no cause for concern, except somebody getting up on your roof claiming that there's damage. And what is happening, and this is terrible, but it is proven, these roofers are actually bending back the shingles to
Wow.
make it look like it's wind damage, and then placing the claim. And so people will say, well, that's why I have insurance. But you have to think, you pay $1,100 a year for your insurance, 1,200, even 1,500 a year for insurance, and then you just place a claim for $15,000. Anybody that's in business, business is business. What would happen if you had to stroke a check right now for $15,000 and you've only been collecting 1,500 a year?
Yeah. That'd
That's a
be,
lot of years that you better have hoped to have had that client on the books. And that's not the case. These companies have clients on the books for 2, 3 years, and then they have to pay out $15,000. Where's that money going to come from? It's going
yeah.
to come from all of us. And that's exactly what's happening right now. It's so important to shop around, and it's important to have an agent to call before you place that claim. Because are you sure somebody's going door to door? When you go through your subdivision and you see the roofer signs and they're all right in a row and it's all the same roofer, they're door knocking.
Yeah.
And we're all paying for that brand new roof now.
No, it sounds like it's a big problem. I'm always leery of anybody that comes to my house unannounced and wants to, climb on my roof or trim my trees or anything like
Mhm.
that. You don't know if they're even insured. So why take that risk from the get-go is the way I always look at it.
Absolutely. And what's happening is clearly they're also targeting the elderly that they can't get up on their roofs and check.
Yeah.
They're concerned it's their forever home. They don't want to have to worry. And so it's really a shame, but it's affecting all of us. And what's happening is also insurance companies are pulling out of these areas, these high risk areas that they see the claims coming from, because it's clear that the roofers are targeting or whatever the contractor may be, because it happens in different fields too, not just roofers. And so they start pulling out of the area. 3 companies just made the news last week in regards to non-renewing. They are non-renewing and pulling out of Central Florida because the
Wow.
claims are so bad that they're going to end up going bankrupt. And so they have to get rid of the clients and get them off the books. And so being non-renewed is scary because you have to go through many times another 4-point inspection to get a new carrier. And you're only limited to about 60 days to be able to do that. So it puts a lot of stress on the homeowner too. Another reason why it's important to get an insurance agent that's looking out for you. We can't stop the non-renewals, but we already have your records if you're our client, and then we can easily reshop you and get you another company, walk you through the process.
Yeah, and I know most agencies don't like charge for you to walk in there and get a quote or call them up and get a quote. So it always helps to shop around.
Absolutely. It's about 10 minutes of your time to give the information. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Going online and getting a quote is not beneficial to anybody at all. You need to have an agent. You need to have an agent. Not only is it good because they're supposed to be looking out for you, but you also get to talk to them about things that might come up in the conversation while they're going over the policy that you didn't even think about.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you go online, they're just going to try and give you that top tier insurance package every time. With
Absolutely.
all kinds of things you might not even need.
Yes, absolutely. And it's important when you're looking over those quotes that you're looking at what is called the endorsement page, which is normally always on the second page of your quote. And look at that. Do you need those coverages? Do you not need those coverages? Do you need more of what they're giving you? And so it just initiates that conversation.
Now, are you seeing auto rates rise up as well? I've heard a couple people
Mhm.
shopping recently and they were surprised at the quotes they got.
Yes, it's so I have to say auto rates are stabilizing. 2 years ago, the industry went through some pretty bad rate increases, and now they're stabilizing, not as larger rate increases. I always tell people, insurance, it's unfortunately it's always going to go up when we're living in an area that is getting more and more people in. We have a ton of people moving into Central Florida right now, and every day it's just thousands of people. It's mind blowing. That drives the premiums because these insurance companies are taking on more people in a small area. Shopping your insurance once a year is always beneficial. As an independent agent, I have over 12 auto insurance carriers. And we have a program that keeps your information in. So all I have to do is go in, edit the information, like maybe say you have a different vehicle now, and then reshop it. And it gives me this list, and it lists all my companies I have to offer, and it tells me their premium. And so I can say, well, Ron, Progressive's coming in at this amount, but it's a 6-month policy. Travelers is coming in at this amount, but it's a 1-year policy. You get to lock your rate in for a year. So we just go through it. I absolutely recommend once a year. Have no surprises.
Yeah.
Once a year, shop your auto insurance. Rates change all the time. One company might be high 1 year, and the next year they had a good claim year. Something happens, their rates go down. Now they're more competitive. Why not? It no longer matters how long you've been with an insurance company. So why not save the money?
It sounds like a win-win to me. And like you were
Yes.
saying, with more people moving to the area, more people on the roads, it just means you're more likely to get into an accident is the way I look at it. And I've seen some of these crazy folks out here on US 19. So you better make sure you're
Yes.
covered.
Yes. And, just real quick on the auto insurance, I even more so do not recommend more than the homeowner's insurance, do not get your auto insurance online. You are not a licensed agent to go through and use those drop boxes and just pick in coverages. You don't know what you're skipping over. You don't realize that maybe your property damage, you picked 25,000, but if you had picked 50,000, it'd be $1.50 more. And that's truly a fact. Property damage is one of the least expensive coverages, but the most important to have.
Wow.
So you rear end a Lexus and you have $10,000 in property damage because you thought you were saving money when you could have had 50,000 for a couple of bucks more. Literally, not a couple bucks a month, a couple of bucks for 6 months. An agent will be able to tell you that. Using a drop down method when you go on geico.com and you're picking your coverage, you're not, you can get an agent there's no additional money to use an agent. Now with GEICO, they are only online based or 1-800. You don't have a licensed agent at your disposal whenever you want. You're calling a call center.
Yeah.
But Progressive offers online, and then I write Progressive as an agent. Progressive recommends you use an agent, and you're not paying any extra for me to be able to tell you, you didn't pick uninsured motorist coverage. Do you know how important that is? Are you willing to risk not having that? I'm there to be able to walk you through that.
Yeah, well, I've had both Geico and Progressive, and I've really enjoyed Progressive, but I don't have anything nice to say about Geico. So
Right. It's hard with GEICO. You know what? They do fill in a need
Mm,
for people. And so, if it works for them, it works for them. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you are not getting a licensed agent, and you are relying on your ability to figure out what coverages you should have. And you really are taking a risk on just selecting that. And you do go to a call center. You're not getting a licensed agent. They are customer service agents that are under the umbrella of the company
yeah,
that they're working for. And so that makes a difference too.
no, absolutely. I definitely go with the insurance agent um, any day over calling up the place myself. If you're not a professional, why try and do it yourself?
Absolutely, especially when it's not going to cost you more. And that is the biggest thing to remember is using an agent absolutely does not cost you more. The company pays for us. You do not.
Awesome. Well, what's the best way for folks to get a hold of you, Angel?
The best way is the office number, which is 727-376-8000. Or a lot of clients nowadays are email based. They love just reaching out email. They can send me all their information via email, and that's angel@leadersinsuranceagency.com. And so we can communicate via that way. We do a lot of things over the internet, which is paperless. And then all my clients get my cell phone number. I work all hours of the day. You never know. A lot of people are working their 9 to 5 and they can't just stop and call an agent to get a quote. It does take a few minutes, and they have to have a copy of their policy so that we do apples to apples. So my cell phone is also a really good way to get a hold of me. They can text me or call me before and after hours, and that's 727-457-4849.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it sounds like you're always available.
I absolutely try to. I want to thank you, Ron. It's really great for you to take time out to interview professionals and be able to get the word out of what we have to offer and what's right here in their own community, right around the corner.
Yeah, no, I enjoy doing it. I've gotten to meet a lot of really good people like yourself. I know you do a lot in the community, um, Newport Richey Holiday area, and it's great seeing all that stuff and getting to meet everybody.
Absolutely. I think we're very fortunate in Pinellas and Pasco County, how tight knit we all are. And we have some really wonderful individuals that make the area so much better and reach out. And so dealing with companies that give back to the community also is so important. Community is very important to me. And I know that I favor businesses, small businesses that give back.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's so many good people. Like you said, we're very fortunate to be where we are.
We really are. We really are.
Well, I sure appreciate you joining me today, Angel.
Ron, thank you so much. I really can't thank you enough. And we appreciate it at Leaders Insurance too.
Well, thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.